In the quaint little town of Willowbrook, life was usually quiet and predictable. The townsfolk went about their daily routines, greeting each other with warm smiles and friendly waves. Everyone knew everyone, and secrets were few and far between. However, all that changed when a mysterious new neighbor moved into the old, ivy-covered house at the end of Maple Street. The house had been vacant for years, its once vibrant garden overgrown with weeds and the paint on its shutters peeling away. So, when the for sale sign disappeared and the sounds of activity emanated from within, the neighborhood buzzed with curiosity. 12-year-old Emma and her best friends, Noah and Lily, were especially intrigued. They had spent countless hours exploring the woods, playing in the park, and inventing wild stories about the house on Maple Street. Now, with someone new living there, their imaginations ran wild with possibilities. "Maybe it's a retired spy," Noah suggested one afternoon as they sat in Emma's treehouse, which offered a perfect view of the mysterious house. "Or a treasure hunter who found a map leading to hidden gold," Lily added, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Emma, always the practical one, shook her head. "We'll never know unless we find out for ourselves. Let's go over and introduce ourselves." With a plan in place, the trio set off down Maple Street, their hearts pounding with anticipation. As they approached the house, they noticed the garden had been tidied up, and fresh paint adorned the shutters. Whoever the new neighbor was, they were clearly making an effort to restore the house to its former glory. Emma knocked on the front door, and after a few moments, it creaked open to reveal an elderly man with a kind face and twinkling blue eyes. He wore a cozy sweater and had a book tucked under his arm. "Hello there," the man greeted them warmly. "Can I help you?" Emma stepped forward, her nerves suddenly making her feel shy. "Hi, we're your neighbors. I'm Emma, and these are my friends, Noah and Lily. We just wanted to welcome you to Willowbrook." The man's smile widened, and he opened the door a bit more. "Well, that's very kind of you. I'm Mr. Thompson. Would you like to come in for some lemonade?" The children exchanged glances, excitement bubbling up inside them. They eagerly accepted the invitation and followed Mr. Thompson into the house. Inside, the home was cozy and inviting, filled with bookshelves and comfortable furniture. A fire crackled in the fireplace, and the air smelled of freshly baked cookies. Mr. Thompson led them to the kitchen, where he poured glasses of lemonade and offered them a plate of cookies. As they sat around the table, the children couldn't help but notice the many photographs and paintings that adorned the walls. "Are you an artist?" Lily asked, her curiosity getting the better of her. Mr. Thompson chuckled. "In a manner of speaking, yes. I write and illustrate children's books." Noah's eyes widened. "Really? That's so cool. Have we read any of your books?" Mr. Thompson shrugged modestly. "Perhaps. I used to write under the pen name Arthur Blackwood. Have you heard of him?" Emma gasped. "Arthur Blackwood? He's one of my favorite authors. I love the adventures of Whiskers and Wagtail." Mr. Thompson's eyes twinkled with delight. "I'm glad to hear that. Whiskers and Wagtail are very dear to me." As they chatted, the children learned that Mr. Thompson had retired from writing and moved to Willowbrook for some peace and quiet. He had spent most of his life traveling the world, gathering inspiration for his stories. Now, he wanted to settle down and enjoy a slower pace of life. The more they talked, the more the children warmed to Mr. Thompson. He regaled them with tales of his travels, from exploring ancient ruins to sailing across vast oceans. His stories were filled with adventure, mystery, and a touch of magic. "You must have so many stories to tell," Emma said, her eyes wide with admiration. "Why did you stop writing?" Mr. Thompson sighed, a hint of sadness in his eyes. "I suppose I felt like my time had passed. The world is changing so quickly, and I wasn't sure if my stories still had a place in it." Lily shook her head vehemently. "That's not true. Your stories are timeless. They inspire us to dream and imagine. We need stories like yours now more than ever." Mr. Thompson smiled, touched by her words. "Thank you, Lily. That means a lot to me." From that day on, Emma, Noah, and Lily visited Mr. Thompson regularly. They would help him in the garden, listen to his stories, and share their own adventures. In return, Mr. Thompson taught them about writing and illustrating, encouraging them to create their own stories. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the garden, Mr. Thompson had an idea. "How would you like to work on a book together? We could write a new adventure for Whiskers and Wagtail." The children's eyes lit up with excitement. "Really? That would be amazing," Noah exclaimed. Over the next few months, they poured their hearts and imaginations into the project. They brainstormed ideas, wrote chapters, and illustrated scenes. Mr. Thompson guided them every step of the way, offering advice and encouragement. The story they created was a thrilling adventure that took Whiskers and Wagtail on a journey through enchanted forests, over towering mountains, and across vast seas. Along the way, they encountered magical creatures, solved ancient riddles, and discovered the true meaning of friendship. As they worked, the bond between the children and Mr. Thompson grew stronger. They learned from each other, laughed together, and created memories that would last a lifetime. One crisp autumn evening, as the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, they gathered in Mr. Thompson's living room to put the finishing touches on their book. The fire crackled warmly, and the air was filled with a sense of accomplishment. "We did it," Emma said, holding up the finished manuscript. "We actually did it." Mr. Thompson smiled, his eyes shining with pride. "Yes, we did. And I couldn't have done it without you three. You brought new life to Whiskers and Wagtail." Lily beamed. "I can't wait to see it published." "Do you think it will be?" Mr. Thompson nodded. "I believe it will. I'll send it to my publisher tomorrow. And no matter what happens, I'm proud of what we've created together." As they celebrated their achievement, Mr. Thompson looked around at the faces of his young friends. They had reminded him of the magic of storytelling and the joy of creating something meaningful. The days grew shorter, and winter settled over Willowbrook. The children continued to visit Mr. Thompson, eagerly awaiting news from the publisher. One snowy afternoon, as they were sipping hot cocoa by the fire, the phone rang. Mr. Thompson answered it, and after a few moments, his face broke into a wide grin. "Wonderful. Thank you so much." He hung up the phone and turned to the children, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "Good news. Our book is going to be published." The room erupted in cheers and laughter. They hugged each other, unable to contain their joy. It was a dream come true. In the following months, Whiskers and Wagtail, The Enchanted Journey became a beloved addition to Arthur Blackwood's collection. The book received glowing reviews, and readers of all ages were enchanted by the new adventure. The success of the book brought Mr. Thompson a renewed sense of purpose. He continued to write, with the children's help, and together they created a series of new adventures for Whiskers and Wagtail. The bond between Mr. Thompson, Emma, Noah, and Lily grew stronger with each passing day. They shared not only a love for storytelling but also a deep friendship that would last a lifetime. And so, in the quaint little town of Willowbrook, life was no longer predictable. The old house at the end of Maple Street became a place of creativity, laughter, and inspiration. The mysterious neighbor had become a beloved friend, and together, they discovered the magic of stories and the power of imagination.